reindeer, and a range of animals in the wild make use of mind-altering drugs, and their crazy behavior may have encouraged man to try these recreational drugs too, reports an article published in the Pharmaceutical Journal. Reindeer go to great lengths to seek out the hallucinogenic fly agaric mushroom, Amanita muscaria, and eating the fungi makes them behave drunkenly, run about aimlessly, and make strange noises. Head twitching is also common. Fly agaric mushrooms have long been used by man for their psychotropic properties, but can be toxic. Reindeer can eat them without harm, and having observed their effects on their livestock, reindeer herders in Europe and Asia have long collected reindeer urine as a safer way.
Am I hallucinating?
He high, man. He's hallucinating, smoking that shit.
He's high.
The raccoon's eating habit. Raccoons are peculiar animals that are native to North America. They have a very distinct appearance with their black, banded, mask across and around the eyes, it being one of their most noticeable features. But what is most interesting about raccoons is not just how they look but also how they eat, or at least their habit of washing their food. Raccoons do wet their food in water before eating. This has been a topic of debate for many years, and scientists and researchers have been trying to explain why raccoons do what they do, but none of them can agree on the same answer. Until a 1986 study was published in the Somatosensory Research Journal. This study brought to light the reason why raccoons dunk their food in water before eating, and the answer isn't what you're expecting. The washing bear. The raccoon's scientific name is Procyon lotor. It means washing bear. This is a very fitting name for this animal because of their interesting behavior, their seemingly strange habit of washing their food. There have been many theories about why they do this, and for a long time, many people believe that the raccoons are just washing away the sand and grit from their food before eating it. But there is a problem with this theory. Raccoons live in many different areas, including forested wetlands and coastal marshes. They can't be getting much sand or grit there. Some scientists have also proposed that they are washing because they don't produce enough saliva, and they're just trying to wet the food and make it more palatable. This theory has also been refuted and proven incorrect, and ever since our fascination with raccoons was sparked, we have been trying to figure out why they do what they do.
You will remember to wash your hands before you eat anything.
Burrowed beneath Australian forests, grasslands, and mountainous regions, the bare-nosed wombat, Bombatus ursinus, feeds primarily on grasses and poops cubes. But how the bare-nosed wombat excretes poop in the shape of cubes has mystified scientists until now. A study published last month in Soft Matter reveals how the wombat's intestines constrict to shape the scat. Bare-nosed wombats can excrete 4 to 8 scat pieces at a time, and may poop up to 100 cubes a day. After the wombat defecates, the furry critter collects the 2-centimeter-sized cubes and places them around their territory, possibly to communicate with other wombats or attract mates in the cube-shaped poop formed at the end of the wombat's digestive process, and that the wombat's intestinal wall contained elastic-like properties. To build on those results and fully understand how the wombat's soft intestinal walls created sharp cube-like edges in the poop, dissected 2 wombats and examined the texture and structure of the intestinal tissue. A 2D mathematical model created from the wombat's intestinal tract showed how the organ expanded and contracted during digestion, and eventually squeezed out the excrement, reports Science. A cross-section of the wombat's intestine is like a rubber band with 2 ends kept slightly taut and the center section drooping. The rigid and elastic parts contract at different speeds, which creates the cube shape and corners.
You would not believe the motherlode I just dropped.
Midwife toads are a genus, Alites, of frogs in the family Elytidae, formerly Discoglossidae, and are found in most of Europe and northwestern Africa. Characteristic of these toad-like frogs is their parental care. The males carry a string of fertilized eggs on their backs, hence the name, midwife. The female expels a strand of eggs, which the male fertilizes externally. He then wraps them around his legs to protect them from predators in the water. When they are ready to hatch, the male wades into shallow water, where he allows the tadpoles to leap out of their eggs. 5 separate species of midwife toads are found across Western Europe, Northern Africa, and Majorca. Midwife toads can be found in the snows of the Pyrenees, living at heights of 5,000 to 6,500 feet in areas such as the Nouveau Massif. Unlike the thin tongue of many amphibians, the midwife's tongue is round and flattened. Its former family name, Discoglossidae, means round tongue. In parts of France, midwife toads live in sand dunes by the sea. They share this habitat with natterjack toads.
Of all that I have done in my life, I am most proud to be your dad.
5 separate species of midwife toads are found across Western Europe, Northern Africa, and Majorca. Shy, nocturnal animals, they give away their presence by their ringing call. During the day, midwife toads hide under stones and logs or in tunnels, often in dry, sandy soil, which is easier to dig into using their forelegs and snouts. They emerge at dusk to forage for food, but always returns to the same hiding places before dawn. During the winter, they hibernate in a hole or burrow that has been deserted by a small animal. Food and feeding. The midwife toad crawls around the area close to its hiding place at night to search for food. The toad uses the end of its long, sticky tongue to pick up prey, including beetles, crickets, flies, caterpillars, centipedes, ants, and millipedes. Tadpoles feed on vegetable matter. They chew with tiny, horny teeth. Young toads eat smaller sizes of the same prey on which adults feed. Defenses. The back of the midwife toad is covered with small warts. These warts give off an odorous poison when the toad is handled or attacked. The poison is so powerful that the toad has few enemies or predators. The poison also helps to keep the egg strings on the male's back safe from attack. The tadpole does not possess the poison, so falls prey to fish and insects. Adaptations. The Majorcan midwife toad has adapted to the harsh, dry conditions of this Spanish island. It is found only in deep canyons in the northern mountains. It has evolved to have a flatter body, which enables the toad to squeeze into narrow crevices in the rocks of its habitat. The only moisture available is in small, rain-filled puddles on ledges. Tadpoles are born and develop in these pools. Fossils of these species have also been found in Europe. Can kinkajous run backwards? Kinkajous live in the tropical forests of Central and South America, where they spend most of their time in the trees. They are able to turn their feet backwards to run easily in either direction along branches or up and down trunks. They are able to turn their feet backwards to run easily in either direction along branches or up and down trunks. How long is the kinkajou night walk? Kinkajou night walk is a 2-hour light walk in Monteverde to see animals in their natural habitat. At Monteverde, 80% of the wildlife is active only during the night, and for you to see it, you need to join a night walk with a local tour guide in a local park. What is the behavior of a kinkajou? They are nocturnal. They spend the day sleeping in dens, often in the crotch or hole of a tree, usually with other kinkajous. At dusk, they groom each other and socialize before separating to forage alone in fruit trees. Social groups usually contain 2 adult males, an adult female and offspring.